in this video, I'll show you the 10 calisthenics skills that will take you from beginner level to full body control. The easiest ones come first, and you simply follow them step by step all the way through. By then you'll have learned some of the most iconic bodyweight movements. But first, before you even begin, I recommend having some experience with the basics. That's pull-ups, push-ups, dips and squats. These build your foundation and should remain a priority even as you move through the list. Skill 1. Frog stand. The frog stand is the easiest way to begin balancing on your hands, and it's a fundamental step before moving on to the handstand. It involves placing your hands at about shoulder width apart and slowly leaning forward until your feet lift off the floor. The legs leaning on the arms should provide most of the support, so it shouldn't feel too heavy. Now as you start balancing, place the majority of the weight on the bottom part of your palm and press down with your fingers to counterbalance. A good tip is to spread out your fingers and create some air underneath, as it will let you press down with more force. But overall, the biggest thing with balance is repetition and exposure. So that's why we want to start doing this early on to build some muscle memory. Keep improving until you feel comfortable, even when moving slightly off balance. Skill 2. Hanging L-sit. The hanging L-sit is a skill that works your hip flexors, core and grip strength. To learn it, you start with knee raises, then L raises, and finally you hold the top position for time. The core is involved in almost everything from here on out, so developing this early will give you a head start. And the same thing goes for grip strength. For many newcomers, grip actually gives out before your muscles do, and we don't want that to be the limiting factor. This skill is a way to practice it while also improving your body control, and you'll very clearly see your stability increase as you start shaking less and less. Now there is also a variation performed on the floor, but this is actually more difficult and you should only learn it after you've mastered the hanging version. For this you instead press down onto the bars, softly rounding your upper back while keeping your legs forward. You can start with bent legs and gradually extend until you're strong enough. Skill 3. Skin the cat. Skin the cat might feel a little unusual, but it's an effective skill for mobility, body awareness and for building more injury-proof shoulders. It involves starting from a hanging position, bringing your knees towards your chest and then letting them pass through the arms. And if needed, you can cross the legs to make it easier. From there, you slowly let your body stretch out, and finally you reverse the movement, pulling yourself all the way back again. If this part feels a little intimidating at first, you can always just let go of the bar and land directly on your feet. Over time, as your confidence increases, you can start pushing the limits some more. Skin the cat is an important stepping stone for later skills such as the back lever. As you can see, the back lever actually involves the exact same entry between the legs. So having this mastered first will make it much more intuitive later on. Alright, let me quickly put an honorable mention in here. The elbow lever. This is more like a party trick and doesn't really build into anything. But it is easy to learn and looks really cool, so for that alone you may want to try it. You simply place your elbows under your body, lean onto your bones for support and try to find balance. But in my opinion, not every skill is worth putting on this list when the goal is to improve efficiently. Skill 4. Pullover. The pullover is one of the most underrated skills in calisthenics. This is your first way of getting over the bar and a big milestone for your progress. Essentially, it's a combination of two exercises. 1. A body row and 2. A toe to bar leg raise. So if you can do one of each, you already have the required strength. Now to perform the skill, start by hanging from the bar and quickly raise your legs all the way up. This should create some momentum that you can carry directly into a body row at the top. Then try to move your legs over and around the bar to land on your hips and finish the rotation. Alternatively, the movements can also be done separately. First a leg raise, then a controlled body row. This is less technical but harder from a strength perspective. For most people though, it's better to start with the first option. And if you have a low pull-up bar, you can even make it easier by jumping into it. This is a great way to get a feel for the rotation before trying the full skill. Skill 5. Pistol squat. The pistol squat is the only leg dominant skill on this list, so in a way it's separate from the other movements. But they're perfect if you want to add a technical element into your leg trainings. And of course they do require strength, but they're also very focused on hip and ankle mobility as well as balance. To learn it, I recommend starting with some deep step-ups to build the foundation. And then you can transition into elevated pistols while holding onto something for assistance. This removes the mobility limitations and allows you to gradually reduce the help. And this is actually a great exercise on its own for muscle mass, but to make it more skill focused, we now have to remove the elevation again. Do this gradually as you improve your mobility until you can perform it freestanding. Skill 6, handstand. Now it's time to take the next step and start learning the handstand. This is the most important balance skill and the foundation for so many other movements. It does take some time to learn, but it's not very strength based, so you can practice frequently to speed up the process. To perform it, you begin from the same hand placement used in the frog stand, and then you do a kick up, quickly lifting one leg and using the momentum to bring your body into a straight line. And in the beginning, you don't even have to aim for a hold. Simply lean to the side and exit the handstand right away. That way you can gradually build the confidence that you can always exit safely without landing on your back. Only then do I recommend going for holds. And don't be discouraged if it takes a while to get it fully consistent. Getting more sporadic holds is totally fine and expected in the beginning. You can even move on to other skills while you're still getting the hang of this one. Skill 7, kipping muscle up. Alright, next we have arrived at the kipping muscle up. For me, this is one of the most rewarding skills there is, and I still remember the feeling of getting over the bar for the first time. For this skill, the main thing you need besides technique is pulling power. You should already have some strength from the basics, but now we need to make it more explosive. And for that I recommend trying these diagonal pull-ups. First with a resistance band and then removing it when you're ready. The second thing you need for this skill is momentum. Start by jumping into the bar and swing forward. Then exactly as the swing turns backwards, you quickly raise your knees towards your chest. This should help generate height, and eventually when you're high enough, you can do a quick headbutt motion forward to land on the bar. There is a lot more to it, and I have many videos on the topic here on the channel, so definitely check them out when you're ready. Skill 8, frog stand to handstand. For the 8th skill, we're combining two of the earlier movements on this list, the frog stand and the handstand. The result is a very visually impressive skill that works great before moving on to the full handstand push-up. Starting from a frog stand, you lower your head while bringing your hips up at the same time. The more vertical you can get your hips, the better. From there, you quickly lift your legs while pressing into the floor. The frog stand creates an easier starting position since your arms are already bent, and the leg drive provides momentum for the press. But of course, the faster you extend your legs, the harder it also becomes to control. So you'll need to find a sweet spot, relying on a combination of strength and momentum. And if you feel limited by strength, pike push-ups is a great related strength exercise here with direct carryover. Besides unlocking a cool skill, this will improve your handstand stability a lot, not only in the top but in the more awkward bend arm position. And that will help out as you continue to add more complexity. Skill 9, tuck planche. Next is the tuck planche. This is your introduction to straight arm strength, which is a very important element in static training. Here you begin with planche leans to build initial strength and get a feel for the arm position. This involves starting from a plank and leaning forward to target your shoulders and biceps. And then once you're strong enough, you can bring your legs close into your body and slightly lift them off the floor. And as you hold yourself, make sure to actively press down and protract to softly round your upper back, just like this. The tuck planche and straight arm strength in general is important if you want to keep developing your statics. But even if you don't, this is a fundamental move that teaches you control while holding a difficult position. Just be aware that it does put some strain on the biceps even as a pushing exercise, so be sure not to overwork them unintentionally. The final step, the strict muscle up, the front lever and the handstand push-up. You've gradually built your way up, and now you've reached the point where you could take on some of the most iconic skills in calisthenics. So as the final step, we have 3 skills that I recommend training for at the same time. From my experience, this trio is the perfect mix, and they're balanced in a way that fits nicely into a single program. The handstand push-up is vertical pressing, the muscle up is diagonal pulling, and the front lever is horizontal pulling. Each targets a distinct movement pattern with minimal interference, allowing you to progress across all 3. This is the exact reason I chose my skill program to work towards these exact skills. Now when you've mastered these movements, then you can start to specialize, whether dynamic or static. Some good skills from here on include the one arm pull-up, front lever pull-up, pike press and many more. You should already have a pretty good idea about what kind of skills you enjoy at this point. Before ending the video, I quickly want to mention that if you're looking for some new calisthenics equipment, my sponsors at Donation have some very high quality options. You can use my code Jacob10 for 10% off. I put the link in the description. That was it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.